Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Tonight we're going to do beginning fingerstyle guitar part 2. And hopefully those of you that are truly working on learning for the first time how to do fingerstyle guitar and begin to get comfortable with it, you watched the first video and you've been practicing ever since. Now here's what we did last time. We did the 1, 2, 3, 4. And on 1 and on 2 and on 3 and on 4, we lift up a little bit on this E chord. Then we don't lift up when we do the hammer on. When we pick that up on that number 3 and, we're pinching that number 6 bass note. Because this is about combining bass with melody. Okay? So, I don't get in much into the music theory scene. I'm going to be frank and open and honest with you. I've never watched a music theory video. I thought it would confuse me, probably even more than I already am with a guitar. So I didn't want that. So I have played by ear my whole life. I don't read music. I'm not proud of that, but it just is what it is. Is it better to be able to read music? Of course it is. I don't want Miss Donna Mitchell to slap me. It's very important to know how to read music particularly if you plan to be some kind of a musician. But if you folks are like me and you're just kind of hanging out and you'd like to be able to play with some people every now and again, to me, and you got any kind of an ear at all, and even this much rhythm, then you should be able to, without too much trouble, adapt to fingerstyle. Okay? So that's what we worked on. Okay? And then the other thing that we did was this. Remember that? But when you first start this out, you're going to be looking at your guitar. And you probably do it even slower than that to start with. But eventually you will speed up. I was surprised at how quickly I got faster at that. And don't forget that exercise. We're going to use this in beginner fingerstyle guitar in this tune, and I'm going to show you how we're going to fit it in, and you're going to go, I can't do that. No, not right now, but you will be able to do that. And this finger pattern with this thumb and these your index finger and your middle finger, it's pretty cool how you can from time to time slide that in and it kind of does a little bit of that for you. Okay, so I'm going to play this whole thing through the first bar of it. Let's say, I don't know if bar is the right word. I think it is, but first round, because we're going to add to this as we go through beginner fingerstyle until you are playing down here and you are playing up here at the same time. Not at the same time, but in the same song. And that's the goal. And you may work on this for a year. But I promise you, the year after that, you will go, oh gosh, I wished I'd have done this about 10 years ago. Because that's what I did. Because I did not think any of this was doable for me. I just wasn't smart enough, wasn't fast enough, any of that. Yeah. And the goal in fingerstyle is not speed. The goal in fingerstyle is accuracy, which you can then begin to speed up. I have found if you slow way down, when I'm learning anything new in fingerstyle, I don't just pick it up and go, oh, that's what he's doing, and just start doing this. I execute every one of those notes first. Okay? So I'm going to play this through at a medium speed so that you know what we're trying to accomplish. All right? So here we go. Something like that, okay? So anyway, I kind of messed that up at the end there on that, but you get the general idea of how that first part is going to go. And then we'll mix it up and we'll come up the fretboard a little bit, go back down, come back up, and play around with that a little bit. But you're going to have to do this very slow, and you're going to need to get really good on this first part right here. So last week or week before, or whenever we did this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, wait a minute. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the muted. 1, mute, 2, mute, 3, mute, 4, mute. Pinch. And strike that number 4 bass note and pick up on that number 1 string. I went through string assignments with your fingers on the last video. That ought to be fresh on your mind if you've been practicing. The one thing I didn't really cover real well is when we mute these strings down here, we're really going to, the palm of your hand will do this perfectly, okay? You just take it on these pins right here and lay your palm on those pins, and then you're coming down a little bit at an angle because this is kind of how you're going to do it. And you're going to be lifting up that palm down here and only muting the first 6, 5, and 4. Okay, just 6, 5, 4. Now it's okay if you kind of mute number 3 or something, you just work with it. You will get used to it, and this hand will get used to it, okay? So here's where we're going to go next, and I'll just show you the A part, and we're going to call that part 2. I'll give you a chance to work on E, now, in the E chord, we're going to do one, let me see. Yeah, so we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Again. 2. Then we're going to transition to the A7 utilizing down here on the fretboard your ring finger and your middle finger. That A7. Everything else is, I can't get that finger up, is off the board, okay? And I'm going to try to get the camera in there close. Everybody should know this A7. I said you need to know how to make chords down here. So what you're going to do when you come out of that E, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, same thing. 1, wait, let me count this off again. 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So after you do the hammer on it, pick up 6 and 4, and then you count twice. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now, you should be able to hear this if you got a sense of hearing with music, but where this transition is going to go. So let me do it in transition to A7, and you should be able to hear that pretty clearly, and then I'll tell you how we do this in A7. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2. Right back with the hammer on directly. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Right now we just need to get you into the A7 and getting you used to these bass notes. So when you were in E, you did 6/4. When you transition to this A7, you're going to use 5/4, 6/4, 5/4, 6/4. Okay? And the reason you're doing that is because in A, that's your root note. So if you've been playing guitar any length of time, you've heard this term root note. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that I'd ever heard that term till about 5 or 6 years ago, and I've been playing guitar most of my life. I knew there were, I guess there's not a better word for it, root notes, root chords, root whatever, where you're starting a song off in. Okay, and the other chords are centered and follow around that chord, like with this E chord. E is our root note in this lineup. Okay, it's in, or the key it's in. It's in the key of E. Okay, now we're going to go to A7. We're going to go to B7, but it's in the key of E. So you wouldn't call it the root, I don't think, but it's in the key of E. Now, in E, the root note, number 6, okay? In A, it's number 5. So the root note is the note you're going to lead with, your bass note you're going to lead with. So when you go to A7, there's your A string right there. I can prove it to you. I can put my tuner on and show it to you. No, I'm just kidding. I know y'all know that. But A is your root note for that chord, okay? And it's your leading bass note for that chord. E, your leading bass note, is number 6. A, your leading bass note, which is your root for A, or A7, is number 5, because that's A. And when we go to B, guess what? Your number 5 is going to be your bass note, but your finger is going to be on that second fret up here, right? Because it's a B7. Okay? So that is your root note for that chord. 5, open, is A, root note. Remember, what is it, Louie Louie? You get the idea, okay? If you're under the age of 50, sorry about that. Okay, so we did this. So we had 4. We counted to 4. 1, 2. We count every time we hit that root note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 times. Now, as soon as you strike that number 4 string after those 2 deals, you're going to immediately come off of that E very slowly, and you're going to go, and you're just going to pinch 5 and 2. 2's going to be open. Okay, nothing on the fretboard, just like that, and you're going to hammer on your A7. 5, 4, 6, 4. You're only going to do it once, I think. Let me see. No, you do it twice. So you're going to hammer on to that A7. Pick up on number 1. That's all you're doing there. Okay, once you do that hammer on, strike number four, because that's going to be your next move in the A bass run. Pick up on number 1 with that index finger right there. Come back and pick up number 6, number 4, and just like that. I'm not muting it because I want to do some close ends on the video. Okay, so it'll sound like this before you go back to E. Yeah, you're only going to do this hammer on one time in A7. You're going to do your bass notes twice. You're going to do the hammer on once. And then once you strike that last number 4 bass after coming off of that 6, 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4. Okay? At which point you're going to lift up and come back to the E chord with the hammer on immediately. Okay? So once again, and stop right there. Because when we get into this B7, I want to help you utilize this, and it'll sound really cool. Okay? You may have not been cool in school, but you be cool after doing this. Okay? Your friends will think you're cool. How's that? Your guitar buddies will think you're cool. I never knew what that was. I don't think I was very cool in school. Matter of fact, if you grab one of my high school friends and said, "What do you think? What'd you think of Randy?" He would probably say anything other than, "Well, I think he was pretty cool." Okay. Now, again, I'm going to walk through E, A7, E, and then we're going to stop there, and you're going to work on that for a couple of weeks, okay? Then we're going to deep dive into B7, which to me is one of the most fun chords in the world for fingerstyle. So, three, 4, one, 2, and then we'll stop right there. Okay? All right? And do not get in a hurry and go, well, I've got to be good at this in a month. No, you're not going to be good at it in a month. I'm sorry. If you've never done fingerstyle, you're not going to be good at it in a month any more than you were good at playing a guitar with a pick in a month. That's not how this works. Now, if you have been strumming and picking, you're way ahead of the game from a knowledge standpoint of the guitar. But that does not mean these fingers are going to cooperate with you just because you can do that. As a matter of fact, they're unimpressed that you can do that when you start fingerstyle. They don't care. They don't care what your history is, how much experience you've got on the guitar. The minute you get that pick out of your hand and start using these fingers as a pick, your life, it's like quitting a company or leaving a company in your field of expertise, and you go to work for another company in the same arena. These are all new people. You got to prove it all over again. That's just a fact of life. What you did before will gain you a little bit of respect to get you in the door. But you have to, from that point, earn things, just like you did where you came from before, no matter what kind of experience you have. And you may not like that, but that's life. That's just what it is, okay? I know, I went through it. And many of you probably have too. One more time. Okay? And again, it'll kind of be that's what it's going to end up being. Okay? And you will thoroughly have fun when you get to that point. And that point is out here a little bit, but it's there waiting on you, okay? Don't quit. Don't quit. Tell yourself, I'm tired of not knowing how to do fingerstyle. I'm going to learn this, dadgummit, okay? And then stick with it, all right? And that's tonight's lesson, folks. It's not time where I'm at. And, I'm just happy somebody wants to know how to learn how to do it, I can't tell you how happy it's made me, particularly in my older age, because before I had guitars, I could strum a guitar. At one time I had a pretty good rhythm, played in a few bands, had a recording studio for a while. But I was never what you would call a guitarist, and I'm still not a guitarist. I know what playing a guitar sounds like, and it's not me. I should have never put this guitar down for 15, 20 years. Should have never done it, because it's a way to get what's in here out of here. Okay, I'm very happy somebody reached out about this, because I was doing fingerstyle lessons, but frankly, they assumed some folks really knew how to kind of play fingerstyle to begin with, and I never really thought about, probably should have done a video a long time ago about how do I start this, okay? So in the next couple of weeks, you're working on and trying to speed that up. And then the other thing you're working on is God bless each and every one of you. And I really appreciate you joining the channel. It's always good to see you. I try to do these videos so that it's just like it's just me and you, you know? Because in my mind right now, it's just me and you. Okay? Take care of your friends. Take care of your family. God bless. We'll see you next time.